Philkotse ba? Philkotse na! Sa Pilipinas, alam naman natin na price is king. Importante sa mga Pilipino yung price. Kaya lagi nakita yung mga car brands na laging naglalabanan when it comes to pricing. But Suzuki Philippines has other plans. They introduced the Vitara AllGrip, which is 300,000 pesos pricier. And worse, tinanggal nila yung mas murang variant na front-wheel drive. Now, alam natin siguro kung anong malaking tanong, di ba? Is this car worth the added money? My name is Jacob Oliva, the content manager of Philkotse.com, and this is the Vitara AllGrip. Nga pala, kotse ba? Philkotse na! Okay, sa harap, if you're trying to find what's new in the Vitara AllGrip as compared to the previous model, well, wala masyado. And this one picks up from the facelifted model na ni-release last year. So ano yung mga important details? Like, you have projector LEDs, then you have your DRL here na LEDs din, pero yung fog lamps mo is halogen. And then you have, well, basically you have a lot of chromes, so marami siyang shiny stuff sa harapan. And this one is actually what's new with the AllGrip. Para siyang faux skid plate na nag-a-add ng toughness or SUV look sa Vitara as compared to before. Under the hood is a 1.6-liter M16A gasoline engine that produces 115 horsepower and 156 Nm of torque. Naturally aspirated yun, so walang turbo. Now, those numbers are sent to all four wheels. Well, AllGrip nga, so that's all-wheel drive. Via a 6-speed automatic transmission with paddle shifters. Yes, default ang all-wheel drive mode and there's no way you can switch to just front-wheel drive. Then again, fuel efficiency isn't affected despite the added weight of the all-wheel drivetrain. On mixed driving conditions, city and highway at around 40 km per hour average, fuel consumption is around 10.1 km per liter. Sa highway naman at an average speed of 90 km per hour, surprisingly nakakuha ko ng 21.1 km per liter. And for a vehicle that runs on all four wheels, that's already impressive. Sa gulong, you have 17-inch two-tone alloys na merong Continental tires na Conti Premium Contact, which is it's an all-surface tire or pwede na siya kahit sa summer or madulas or whatever, which is a perfect match for all-wheel drive system. Now, you have disc brakes on all fours, so ang ganda ng braking power niya. And for the design, I like it, pero it's up to you kung tip nyo yung nakita nyo ngayon na design ng gulong. Oy, sa Gedli naman tayo. Wait, by the way, ang init dito. Pawis na ako, But, if maghahanap kayo ng changes sa gilid, meron. You have this added bling sa gilid. I'm not sure if trip nyo siya. But if you ask me, hindi ko siya masyadong trip kasi, well, I hate shiny stuff. But the overall look, you have the scuff plates here na design lang yan, the end vents. But you have the turn signals sa side mirrors. And added chrome uli sa mga pinto. So, overall, I'm good with it. I can live with it. But, preference ko lang siguro is, sana two-tone yung kulay na wala dito sa media tester. But, you can buy that sa Suzuki Philippines. And speaking of buying a car, you can go to Philkotse.com car guide and nandun yung specs, you can actually get a quote para masimulan yung buying process nyo. Sa likod, this is probably my most favorite part of the Vitara's exterior. Kasi you have this taillight configuration na all red. So it's very interesting pag nakita mo, mukha siyang yung nasa crest ni Superman. If you're asking, this is where the turn signals are, and then your reverse lights are there. Now you also have sensors, and then you have a black spoiler na may third brake light. Another interesting fact is, meron siyang parang pimple dito. This is actually your keyless button. So if bubuksan mo yung trunk na nasa sayo yung susi, just press this and mag-unlock siya na hindi kasama yung gilid. So it's great. Now this one, hindi ako masyadong sold sa camera kasi mukha siya aftermarket thought na dinagdag na lang, hindi siya integrated into the tailgate. Now, for additions, you have the AllGrip emblem here, and then you have the faux skid plates again to add a macho SUV look sa Vitara. Sa trunk, you have almost 400 liters of space for your cargo, and flat naman yung floor, and hindi ganun kataas yung loading height mo since the ground clearance is just 185 millimeters. Now, you can extend the space to around 700 liters pag tinupi mo yung upuan sa likod and pag tinanggal mo tong tonneau. And that's just about it. Pero one good thing about this car is you have malalim na spaces dito sa gilid. So if magdadala ka ng mga bote na pwedeng gumulong-gulong while you're driving, well, that's a good addition. And then you also have tie-down hooks dito, and you have a 12-volt socket para sa mga electric na cooler. Dadaanan lang Vitara. Uy, diyan pala kayo. Uy, sa loob! What can I say? This is not what I'm expecting from a 1.5 million peso car, sadly. But you have soft touch material sa dashboard, which is nice. But just like the old Vitara, you have hard plastics sa maraming parts ng kotse, which is kind of significant lalo na sa door panels na laging tinatamaan ng siko mo. The good thing about it is, ang ganda ng upuan. You have leather na may suede na material na may texture pa. So, ako gustong-gusto yung execution yan. Pati yung suede nasa door panels mo rin dito, malapit sa controls. Now, ano significant ng suede sa upuan? Well, if na-park mo siya sa parking lot na medyo maaraw and nababad mo siya doon like for an hour or so, kawawa naman yung kasama mong naka-shorts, diba? Pag upo. Pag suede seats, hindi siya umiinit ng ganong kainit. Which is a great, nifty addition sa mga auto ngayon. Ayan, sa steering wheel, you have leather. You have a leather lap tiller na this is kind of familiar. I think this is the same one na makikita mo sa Celerio. And you have paddle shifters, sabi ko nga kanina. It's a 1.6 liter na automatic na may paddle shifters. Now, you also have buttons here for your audio, although wala ka nung sa call button. And then, you have your cruise control and speed limiter controls dito sa kanang side. Now, sa harapan, you have a clean gauge cluster. You have a digital display sa gitna na may monochrome. Actually, hindi siya monochrome, may kulay pala yung ibang parts na nagbabago pag nagbago ka ng driving mode. You have sport, you have snow, you have automatic pag pinito mo sa gitna, and you have lock. Well, gagana na lock pag naka-snow mode ka. Now, yung gauge clusters na analog, gustong-gusto ko yung design niya kasi sobrang linis and kitang-kita mo siya day or night. Pagdating mo sa gitna, you have quite interesting layout na circular vents and an analog clock sa gitna. Well, pagbaba mo, you have your infotainment system. I'm not sure of the exact size, pero medyo malaki siya, na may Apple CarPlay and Android Auto na rin. Now, ang nadagdag sa Vitara AllGrip sa loob is yung infotainment mo, meron ng clinometer, which is nasa Suzuki Jimny rin. Ano yun? For off-roaders, alam nila yun. Yun yung nag-gauge nung angle ng sasakyan, kung paano na inclination niya, yung tilt, yung yaw. If alien yung sinasabi ko sa inyo ngayon, you're not an off-roader. But anyway, pagbaba mo, you have your climate control na automatic na, but it's not dual zone. So, isang temperature lang for the whole car. And then, let's go to our segment, which is, nasaan ang smartphone mo? For the Vitara, just like the Suzuki Jimny, you have a space here for your phone na medyo masikip lang siya ng konti, pero kasya naman yung mga malalaking phone. And maganda pa doon is, nandito na rin yung USB port mo. So, walang clutter sa cabin, maluwang, and hindi siya nakakasagabal sa driver or sa passenger. Now, when it comes to cup holders, you have two. Akala ko nung una maliit siya, but then again, kasya yung malaking bote, barely. And you have bottle holders sa pinto. Ito yung malaki, yung nasa pinto. Now, sabi ko nga kanina, you have driving modes for your AllGrip system or your all-wheel drive na nandito, na you can just twist it. Knob naman siya, madali na siyang gamitin. Now, another interesting detail sa loob is, well, apart from your automatic your auto dim na rear view mirror, and your automatic headlights, you also have this a somewhat shiny metallic thing na mukhang mata ng langaw, na nandito rin yung AllGrip na emblem mo for this variant. Overall, the experience inside the Vitara's cabin is somewhat surprising, but not exactly in a good way. Medyo maghahanap ka ng konting luxury with that price tag eh. Like 1.5 million, then you have so much hard plastic. So I guess Suzuki Philippines, baka naman pwede nyo ibalik pa rin yung front wheel drive variant. Okay, sa likod, there's nothing much to report here since wala kang aircon vents. You don't have a foldable center armrest na may cup holder, but you have bottle holders sa pinto. And again, the hard plastics are still here. And yung favorite part ko, again, the suede seats na ang sarap hawakan. Anyway, for space, like frankly, this is my usual driving position. And I can imagine this in a long drive na medyo magre-relax ka, sa slouch ka, ganyan. Medyo masikip na siya. For my height, I'm just 5'6", and medyo kinda wide boy. So, if someone wider than me or even taller, yeah, masisikapan siya. And by the way, the roof is this low. Medyo nabawasan yung headroom mo because of the panoramic sunroof. Now, if that's a good thing for you, I mean, you want the open air feeling pag nakabukas yung shade, well, I guess that's for you. But for other people, I guess that's a trade-off for a lower headroom. Ngayon, nung na-receive namin itong Vitara, we posted it on YouTube, on the community, and asked people kung anong gusto lang malaman about the Vitara. And one of the notable questions there is if yung sunroof na to, kasi pag sinara mo siya, yung mesh na cover niya is kinda translucent or nag-aalaw talaga na maraming ilaw sa loob. Now, how bearable that is? When you're driving, it's okay. I mean, it's fine. Since sa'yo nakatapat yung aircon eh. So if kahit number 2 lang yung aircon mo, that's fine. Pero sa likod, if tirik na tirik yung araw, medyo mainit siya. So palalakasan mo na lang yung aircon sa driver. Nga pala, seryosong tanong to, may nagtanong sa YouTube namin. Can the Vitara go up to Baguio for reals? Yun yung sinabi niya. Sige, di namin na-test papuntang Baguio since may restrictions pa. But what I can say is, meron akong pinsan na nakapunta ng Baguio ng nakabike. Okay? So, for other sensible questions, lagi kami nag-update sa YouTube namin. Just subscribe to this channel and like this video. At lagi kami maglalabas ng mga sensible and entertaining videos para sa inyo.
Tignan ko lang yung mga k***uhan nyo ngayong episode. Mga tong episode na to eh.
Yung ex ko sa venue.
Nakasakay na ako ng Big Black nga, BBC. Malabas nag-blip lang, nagbura na. Hindi ba pwedeng sensitive information? May pinag-uusapan lang ang Philkotse Boys. For the full episodes, follow Chef Happens on Spotify. Click nyo lang yung link sa itaas or sa description sa ibaba.
Okay, so we're driving the Vitara. Nakikita nyo naman. And the first thing I noticed is, actually, dati ko pa na-notice to is, ang dali nung driving position, madaling set, kahit manual. Because you have your seat height adjuster, and then you have tilt and telescopic steering wheel. And comfy rin siya kasi, yeah, malambot yung upuan, your elbow points or your elbow touches malalambot na parts, and this one is a slidable na elbow rest. Now, your visibility isn't hampered. Ang ganda actually. Wide siya. I mean, it's airy. Ang okay siya i-drive and relaxing. Now, one thing lang na sana dinagdag ng Suzuki is sana may speed sensing door lock siya. Kasi wala siyang speed sensing door lock. So, you have to remind yourself to lock your doors, unlike other modern cars. Okay, when it comes to the engine, you have the same 1.6-liter gasoline engine from the facelifted model from last year that sends the same power to all four wheels. But the difference is with the AllGrip model or the all-wheel drive model, abrupt yung acceleration mo kasi you have four wheels na gumagana eh. So, papapansin mo mas maganda yung acceleration niya than before. But, mapapansin mo rin na mabilis siya mag-peak. Pag na-accelerate na siya, hanggang dun na lang siya. So, ano yung practical application nun? Pag mag-overtake ka, make sure that it is with good measure para hindi mabitin. Okay, so let's discuss the elephant in the room, which is the AllGrip all-wheel drive system ng bagong Vitara. Now, you have to remind yourself that this is far different from the one that is equipped in the Jimny. Magkaiba yun. Kasi sa Jimny, that's for off-roading. That's for hardcore off-roading. But in the Vitara, this is more for safety, which is magagamit mo sa mga winding roads or kapag madulas yung kalsada, the system automatically activates para bigyan ng tamang torque or traction yung bawat gulong para hindi madudulas yung sasakyan and mas safe yung pagdadrive. So that's all-wheel drive system. Hindi siya pang off-road, okay? So wag ka maghahanap ng off-road na power or off-road na capability sa Vitara. Although, hindi ko naman sinasabi na hindi siya capable to do it. But as a crossover, as a unibody crossover, hindi siya recommended. Hindi ito taga pang off-roading eh. Kasi sasayad ka at ang gawin mo and baka matwist mo yung body ng sasakyan na to. Okay, now, you have sport mode nga kanina, you have auto mode. Now you have snow mode. Now, sorry, sa Pilipinas walang snow. But actually, the snow mode in the Vitara, you can use it in really low traction surfaces like mud or sand. Kasi parang snow, madulas siya. Sabi ko nga, low traction. And ang ginagawa niya is automatically dinedetect ng system kung aling gulong yung nagsislip. And for that, magsasend siya ng tamang torque dun sa gulong na yun para di siya dumulas. Now, you also have the lock mode, which is for more intense low traction surfaces pa. And ang ginagawa naman nun is mas biased siya in sending torque to the rear wheels para mas mapush niya yung sasakyan na makagalaw in low traction surfaces. Now, handling. Wala masyadong nabago sa steering, sa bigat ng steering wheel. This is still the one that's found in the facelifted model, pero I like it. Hindi siya ganun katigas and hindi rin siya malambot and maganda yung feedback niya. Pati sa twisties or sa zigzags, hindi siya mahirap i-maneuver, and part of that is yung all-wheel drive nga. Kasi aside from safety, you also have the sport mode, which practically sends more torque to the wheels para mas maganda yung performance niya when it comes to winding roads nga. When it comes to suspension, sa akin okay naman siya. It's not rough, pero hindi rin siya sobrang soft. Ako ayoko ng soft na suspension na sobra kasi syempre may body roll. But when it comes to normal driving, it's okay and hindi siya disruptive. But I guess Suzuki should increase the insulation of this car when it comes to outside noise, kasi medyo maririnig mo talaga yung road noise even at slow speeds, lalo na kapag nag-drive ka ng mabilis. Okay, Philkotse grade naman tayo. For aesthetics, the exterior looks actually nice. Like, gusto ko yung styling, except maybe dun sa mga added bling. But sa loob, sa interior, I feel like merong kailangang improvements, lalo na sa quality of materials, that affects the overall look of the cabin. So for that, I'm giving this a 3.5 out of 5. For practicality, maraming storage spaces, although siguro kailangan lakihan yung cup holders and lagyan ng cup holders sa likod. And meron din siyang adequate na creature space sa harap at likod. But that's about it. It's adequate. So kung mas matangkad than the average sized Filipino, medyo maghahanap ka ng space. So for practicality, I'm giving the Vitara a 3.5 out of 5. For performance, the engine doesn't really need help with menial tasks. And hindi ka naman maibitin when it comes to normal drives lang. And ramdam na ramdam mo yung benefits ng all-wheel drive, especially when needed. But the whole system's not perfect. So for that, I'm giving the Vitara AllGrip a well-deserved 4 out of 5. For value for money, I'm not gonna lie. Asking 1.5 million pesos or almost 1.5 million pesos for a Vitara is too much of an ask. But considering the benefits of all-wheel drive system when it comes to safety, I think it's just fair to give this car a 3.5 out of 5. Considering all the points mentioned, the ups and downs, pros and cons, I'm giving the Vitara AllGrip an overall score of 3.5 out of 5. Now on to the most important question of this review. Is the Vitara AllGrip worth the added money? Well, it depends. At 1,458,000 pesos, the Vitara AllGrip now stands as the most affordable all-wheel drive vehicle in the market. Mas mura pa siya sa Mazda CX-30 and Subaru XV. Now, if you're buying an all-wheel drive vehicle for its intended use or yung totoong gamit niya, which is for safety, let's say nasa probinsya ka or madalas ka sa mountain passes, madalas ka nag-outing, and kailangan mo ng sasakyan na malakas ang grip when it comes to corners, then this car is definitely worth it. Now, kung sa syudad ka lang lagi, I'm really struggling to find the reason bakit kailangan bumili ng all-wheel drive na Vitara. So, Suzuki Philippines, baka naman! Baka naman pwede nyo ibalik yung front-wheel drive variant ng Vitara na mas mura para mas maraming choices ang mga tao. Thanks for watching! For the latest news, reviews, and anything you want to know about cars and car ownership, visit Philkotse.com. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Spotify para hindi ka huli sa usapan. Tandaan, kotse ba? Philkotse na!